Yes, 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 yes. Welcome to the K. Kente Show. Welcome to the K. Kente Show. I got another special, man, a special interview conversation, man. I got a great guest right now that I've been wanting to interview for some time right now. I mean, this brother right now, veteran Vince Bryant, aka Nawfside. This brother, man, I mean, this brother has did a lot in the community. He's did a lot in the world. Matter of fact, I just want to, before we start this interview, I just want to thank you, brother. Sincerely, man, thank you for what you do in the community. Thank you for what you have did for this country. Thank you for the creativity that you put out here too. You're a talented brother, man. I mean, as you know, we're gonna get this story going on. Like, I mean, you served 2 terms in Iraq, in the Marines. But before we go into that, you also is an MC. I mean, creator, actor, producer. Spice One is actually one of your good friends.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I say, you connected with, like, rest in peace to Hussein Fatal, the Outlaws. You have did things. I think you was the first guy far as on the DJ Screw, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I don't, because a lot of people wouldn't know that. Rest in peace to DJ Screw in Houston.
Yes, right.
I can go on, man, but before, what I'm saying, we do get into this interview, I got a treat for y'all out here, ladies and gentlemen. Before we get into this, I got this treat. I just want y'all to check this out. I want y'all to check this out, where my brother is coming from. I definitely want y'all to check this out. It's a real big treat, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know what y'all truly think. I really do.
All the tongue bleed. Dropping these philosophies, fulfill prophecy. You whole niggas be watching me like Jay-Z. I may be the best that ever did it. When it come up to this rap game, inspired by the Wu-Tang Clan. I'm a man teaching in the foreign land. Everybody chasing cheesecake like making another band. Making plans to take this rap game back to the lyrics, man. Ain't nobody talking shit but me and my clique, man. Lyrically,
okay.
None of you fucks can fuck with me. You're still blind. Fuck the freestyle rhyme, cause I ain't got the kind of time to hit these bump little lines. Niggas live in fear. I fuck the premiere. Let's go.
Yeah, Mr. Boss, a lady, the rider, kick the gang shit, nigga, you already know. Come on.
Yeah.
Hey, roll up with the scraper, Mr. Boss, a lady, the rider. Got a desert eagle with slugs that'll go deep up inside the hill with the heat and bounce. That's how we do when we serve them. Ain't no motherfucking loving the game. Niggas is working. Right. Get money over bitches while you're sleeping the game. Shot in his head with his vest on. Who do you blame? A circle of circumstances. Going with the wind. I'm just a motherfucking rider like all my friends.
Yeah, give it up for Spice One.
I just want to give y'all a little freestyle of what my brother's coming from. And I got one more though too. One more for y'all. This to show y'all what he's been doing, what he has been doing. With legends. And Spice One, you seen with him. But this is the one when he's on Sway in the morning.
I just spit some bars.
Okay.
I'm one of the best that ever did it. Spit it for these rap critics. Thinking everybody in the South rap the same. I'm not a game when it come to these things. Them niggas lame. I got that good game, lyrical cocaine, lyrical Hussein. Saddam, when I bomb, it's kind of funny making niggas run. I'm leaving them stunned. You ain't even in my league. Your favorite rapper intrigued. Yes, I'm the favorite rapper indeed. I'm lyrical. My style is mystical. I bring danger. Known in Houston, Texas as the Northside Strangler, converted gangbanger, MC mangler. Can't calculate my stuff because I'm a FOI ranger. Lyrically, none of these niggas can fuck with me. They still blind. Man, fuck a freestyle rhyme. I get down all day because I fuck with Callaway. You heard?
Ooh, snap. Let me say Callaway.
Yeah.
Woo. Northside.
All day.
Spell his name right.
Northside. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Spell his name right.
Right.
Man.
Yes, sir.
Oh, I just had to show just wanted to show the people out there before we get into the interview that some of the stuff that you have done, you know what I mean? Like far as now I want to get into your life, man, because this is it's real life what you have been through. You know, and like I said, I want to really salute you, man, and for everything you have done. You a Vietnam Marine, you know what I'm saying? Excuse me for saying Vietnam. You're a veteran Marine.
I'm Vietnam minded though.
Yes. And we're gonna get into that.
Yeah.
Now, I want you to explain to the people too, brother. Your experience in the Marine Corps and your 2 terms in Iraq. I want you to explain that to the people and different things.
Okay. First of all, before I get into that, I want to thank you, K-Dot, for all the work that you've done and continue to do on the front lines of our struggle. I'm so grateful that we have brothers like yourself still around that are not changing that format because it's cool to do it. You have stayed and stood the test of time, and I want to thank you on behalf of our ancestors. I want to speak along with our ancestors for all the work that you continue to do. I also want to thank one of my favorite guests on your shows, Brother Haki Kwali Shakur.
Yes, sir.
I tell you, man, every time I see him, man, it just lifts my spirit, knowing that we have comrades still on the front lines. He lives, he breathes, he speaks revolution. And
yes, he do.
I'm very grateful to know that brother, and it's just a blessing to be a part of this platform. So thank you. I wanted to get that out the way.
Man, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Sir. Yes, sir. Salute you
yes.
and all the work that you continue to do on behalf of the people.
Yes.
Man, where do I start, man? It's really like a long story.
I said you can write that book, man. You know.
You know what? I've been putting it off, man. I really do need to write a book. And God willing, man, I can compile my story into a book, because it's a whole lot, man, from my upbringing to being involved in different revolutionary movements, and then backing out of that for a second, to go in the military. And by the way, I served in 2 branches. Just a quick story. I went in the United States Navy Reserves first after high school. A lot of people say, man, why you didn't go to the Army? Well, I didn't go to the Army because it was just too common for me. And plus, I did 4 years. Look, I did 4 years of high school ROTC, and I was like, man, if the real Army, anything like this, I don't even want to be a part of it. But that was my mentality then. But I wanted, after the Navy, I got discharged from there. Then I got a job out in the civilian sector. Started working with juveniles as a drill instructor for the juvenile probations department. And I was like, man, this is still not enough. And I always wanted a military edge. So I said, you know what, I'm finna go get back in the military. And I reached out to a Marine Corps recruiter. Next thing you know, they found me a job. It wasn't the job I wanted, but it was enough to get me in the Marine Corps. And everything else is pretty much history. I went in the Marine Corps Reserves because I already had a good job and all that. So I kind of wanted the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
Not knowing, or then again, I kind of knew later on I was had to pay the piper, and my unit ended up getting deployed to Iraq twice. And, by the grace of Allah, grace of God, I'm still standing. And it was rough. It was rough, brother. But I will say this. I'm proud to be a U.S. Marine. Once a Marine, always a Marine, whether you in or out. I earned the title, had a great career. I went from the administrative side of the Marine Corps to becoming an 0311. 0311 is infantry rifleman, on it to scout sniper. So I was blessed to be have all those different specialized trainings, go through that and still make it out after 2 successful tours in Iraq.
And with them tours, I don't, I just want to make sure, brother, do you feel comfortable talking about, what happened in those 2 tours? And as far as letting the people, what I'm saying, know, because I know it's some drastic things that, truly happened in those 2 tours. If you care to elaborate on it.
Yes. Again, if I take pauses in between, because I hadn't since my film, I hadn't really talked too much about Iraq. First of all, I want to let your audience know I'm a street dude, man. I was raised in the church. I was raised in the church, got tired of the foolishness that was going on in the church. Then I got out in the streets, started banging, rising up through the ranks. I'm not going to reveal the set I was a part of, but those that know, they know.
And let people know where you from, brother Nawfside. Tell them like where you from.
Yes, sir. I was born in San Antonio, Texas, and then I later moved to Houston, Texas, raised in Houston, north side of Houston, and then from there to where I'm at right now. I'm semi off grid right now, but I'm still in Texas. So my upbringing was kind of half and half: San Antonio, Texas, and Houston. So that's where my upbringing actually came from. I guess to kind of talk a little bit about the war, man. War is ugly, man. I'm a street dude. Like I said, I was in them streets, and I'm telling you, as a Marine, you can do all the training, all the preparing, all the dress rehearsals, but it never prepares you for being in the actual war, man. And like I said, I remember the first day I got to Iraq. I was just standing outside. Actually, when we flew into Al-Assad, we convoyed from the air base to the location where we was going to be at, which was in Western Al-Anbar province, which is the west side, the ghetto side of Iraq. And my first day, man, we got hit as soon as they dropped us off. So you can imagine, I'm like, damn, man, I'm really in this. So I was actually standing at a certain point, and I talk about this a little bit in the film that we put out. But I was so green, man. I was trained, but I was so green, man, and we got attacked as soon as we got dropped off, man. And the enemy, I guess, so-called, tried to give us a welcome party, and we start taking indirect fire to the people. That just means you're dealing with mortars.
Explain what a mortar is, brother. Like,
yeah, man.
People out there.
For those, I guess a lot of people watch movies. You may see somebody take like a little rocket. I'm explaining it that way because I know the people understand it. Take a little rocket and put it in a pipe, and it shoots out. That type of thing. So if a mortar hits you, and I said this in the film, if a mortar hits you, they'll never find you. They will find pieces of your body. They maybe not even identifiable. So my first day in Iraq, man, that's what I experienced. Matter of fact, the enemy was actually trying to test us just to see, okay, we got some new Marines. We know that. See, the enemy gets briefed too before we get there. They know we was from Texas, so we had a name. My unit had a name of the fighting reservist, and most of my folks were from Texas and Louisiana, so they know in the South, man, we don't give a shit, man. We get out, and they definitely found out about that. I don't want to brag because war is an ugly thing, brother. And as I look back on it now, I have to account for lives being lost. I played a part, man, in lives being lost. You know, one mind say is them versus me. But war is ugly, man, and I saw it close up. You know, you know, the enemy had families like we did, but war is just fucked up, man. I mean, if I can do it all over again, I probably would have went another route. I will say this, man. My job was to train the Iraqi National Guard. That's what my job was, to train them to be an army, to stand them up as an army so they could protect their own shit. And then we can get back to America. Well, that job ended up evolving into something else. And then later on, my job became picking up dead bodies, body parts from combat actions. I mean, I did some stuff, man, I never in my life thought I would be involved in. Motherfuckers look at movies, man, doing all this bullshit out in the hood. You know, that ain't shit compared to war, man. You know, we out here shooting these little AKs and 9mm, man. Imagine a missile coming through your house and blowing up your whole family. Imagine that. Imagine you just talk to somebody, now their head is actually sitting on the ground. You know, I never in a million years, man, thought I'd be picking up body pieces. And I talk about it a little bit on my film, man. I would encourage everybody to at least go see that. The day they shot that film, they actually caught me on a bad day. I wasn't even on my meds at that time. But they got the raw meat, and I just told them just to keep rolling, because I want people to get the realism of what really goes on. But I also want you to learn from what I dealt with and what other Marines, soldiers, and sailors deal with in a combat environment. There's a lot of misconceptions about combat. Everybody that go to Iraq or Afghanistan don't fight. It's some of us who fight, and some of us, who we build the infrastructure, but you still in harm's way. And it was definitely an experience, man. And I was just on my first tour. Second tour was a little bit better because I kind of understood the terrain and understood what I was up against. War is ugly, brother.
I just want to, say, now when you came back from those, 2 tours, man, in Iraq, how did that, far as that played an effect in your life, far as with your family, the whole environment around?
That's a good question, man. When I came back, man, I came right back to the hood, and I don't know if y'all know Minister Derek Muhammad. He's like a big time activist. He's a former Marine as well, but he said he remember visiting me when I first came back, and he said he walked in my house, man, and I had like money and guns and shit all over the table. He said I was just out of it. I vaguely remember those times, but I can say this: I was a different person. Back in the day, I was the guy that was mostly quiet. Once in a while, I'll make a joke, but it really fucked me up, man. And it got to the point I started judging people on Marine Corps standards that didn't even have any military training, and I was so used to operating in that environment. So just imagine coming out of combat and you from the streets banging,
man.
So all that, yeah, man. And it was crazy, man. Bear with me, brother, because this is the first time in a long time I
definitely.
I mean,
definitely, bro.
You see me moving around a lot. I'm trying to stay within the groove. I'm actually a lot better now, man. I later on when I finally figured out I am jacked up. I went to therapy, man. therapy in the Black community is considered a taboo. We don't want to get help. We think we know everything. As soon as somebody find out that you're going through something, they talk back to you, and then next thing you know, you're too discouraged to go get help.
That's facts.
But me, on the other hand, I said, man, you know what? If I'm scaring my family off, something is wrong. So that's when I checked myself into the VA and started therapy, man. And what you getting right now is a refined version of what I was when I got back from the war. Some people don't make it back from their first tour in combat. I've done two tours in combat. I know people that have done 5 tours. 5.
Whew.
2 times in Iraq, 3 times in Afghanistan. And so basically, man, when I got back, man, I got into therapy, and what I'm doing today is taking my story to help other veterans, to let them know that they can get help. Because what we're getting today, as far as mental health, the Vietnam veterans didn't get half of what we're getting today. It's because of their suffering that veterans like me have more opportunities. When the Vietnam veterans got back, they was told to get the fuck out and go fend for yourself. That's why a lot of them ended up on heroin. We know the stories.
Yeah.
And I'm only talking about those that did make it back. And there was so much going on, during those times, the 60s and the 70s. But I'm grateful for their sacrifice, because now we have opportunities to get help through mental health therapy.
And it was
my job.
And it was chronic. I want you to speak on the chronic PTSD.
Yeah. So I was diagnosed not just with PTSD. I was diagnosed with chronic PTSD. Chronic PTSD is that you're mentally tormented every second, every day. That's chronic. Everything is, like every 5 minutes I'm checking my door. Every moment, I'm back in Texas, but I'm still in Iraq in my mind. And so I got diagnosed. Normally, when they diagnose a veteran, it's normally like one diagnosis or sometimes dual diagnosis. I didn't even know about a chronic PTSD. I thought it was just PTSD. And after I was looked at by 2 mental health providers in a nice way, they were saying, hey, this dude is fucked up. So the diagnosis was chronic PTSD, ongoing. Even now, I still check my doors once in a while, but I'm not as, and I'm being honest with you, I'm not as bad as I was then, and I can attribute that to therapy and meditation. Meditation is my medication. I'm not on as many meds as I was when I first got back. I'm sure you've seen the film when I opened up my cabinet and all those medicines. It's so much, man. It's so much. But meditation has been a help for me. I meditate. I do yoga, comedic yoga, and I sit and utilize mindfulness practices.
I want to talk about. And another thing, you did security for Dick Gregory too. Rest in peace to the legend, Dick Gregory. You actually did security for him.
Yes, sir. Rest in power. Yeah. Man, it's so much. I really, you're right. I do need to write a book. I was blessed to get that gig through a business partner I was doing security for, Brother Al Rucker. He's a philanthropist, big time philanthropist out in this area, and he knew my background from the nation doing security, and later on he found out I was a U.S. Marine combat veteran, and he reached out to me and said, "Hey man, I got these folks coming in town." Dick Gregory was one. I've done security for Kiki Wyatt, Albie Shore. Raheem Devon, you know. So I have to shout out Brother Al Rucker for utilizing my talents to make sure I can secure those brothers.
Yeah.
And it was just it was a blessing to myself and Brother Nasir Muhammad. We were the last two to secure Dick Gregory while he was here in Houston. And those times, you know, people ask me all the time, what did he tell you? What did he tell you? He told me a lot, man. He told me a lot. He showed me a lot. He put me up on a lot of game.
Man, he was wise. He had some of the best wisdom ever. Like we just, you know, I just know this being around him. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It was an amazing experience, man. And I'm still tripping. I'm like, damn, you know, when I look back on certain footages and I'm like, damn, man, I'm literally standing right here by Dick Gregory, the legendary Dick Gregory, Baba Gregory. And I remember we used to take him back to his hotel, man. He used to ask me to stay back because he wanted to show me different things. And he used to have newspapers scattered all over his hotel bed. And he was telling me how to look at this, look at this, look at this. I still have recorded conversations by his permission that we did during those times. So maybe one day I can release those.
I know you can release them one day.
It's crazy, man. I was just listening to a voicemail he sent me on the second time he came back to Houston, just to hear his voice.
Oh man,
it's a beautiful thing, man. But
yes,
may he rest in power. May he rest in power.
Yes. And like I said, man, you did a lot of stuff, brother, man. I mean, let's talk about the music. You know, you got a collaboration going on with Spice One. Speak on that. The stuff you did with Spice One. I mean, to break it down, the legendary Spice One.
Yeah, it's and I appreciate that, brother. You know, when people give me accolades, I got to give it right back to God and the ancestors, man.
Yes.
Because I am nothing without them. You know, there's an old saying, there's no me without we. And I appreciate those accolades, but I got to give it right back to God and the ancestors for paving the way for me. How I hooked up with Spice One, the legendary Spice One, East Bay Gangster.
Yeah.
That started because I met a guy named Ryan Elder. I was at the Outlaws, the last two that are visible right now, Eddie and Noble. They had a show out in San Antonio, my hometown. So I called Noble and told him I'm gonna come out there. You know, I'm like, man, y'all in Texas, man. By right, me being a part of the Outlaw Nation, I need to come and support y'all. So myself and one of the homies, man, we went out there and provided security. And it started as security. Then I ended up jumping on stage while they was performing. I'm gonna have to send you the pictures on that. And after that was over with, I mean, it was a good show, man. After that was over with, the guy who actually put on the show was named Ryan Elder. And he and I started talking, and I told him, I said, hey, man, I said, you know, I'm one of actually the last one to record with Hussein Fatal on his last single. He said, what? I said, yeah. I say the single that Hussein Fatal put out, his last single before we lost him, was with me. So I sent him the song. You know how people just tell you stuff, but when you send it to him, it becomes a reality. So he called me back. He called me back. And this is, a matter of fact, this is the same guy who put out the Outlaws. What is it? What's the name of that project? The Last Ones Left. That's the Outlaws' last collaborative group effort. And Ryan Elder actually put that out. So long story short, I know he listened to the song. So he called me back. He hit me back and said, hey, man, I'm about to start working with Spice One, man. I wondered if you would be interested in being part of the project. I said, sure, man. Come on, man. It's Spice One. So maybe a week or so, I think it was 2 weeks, he sent me a track. It wasn't nothing on it. Spice One wasn't even on it. He told me what the concept of it. So I had it back to him in 72 hours. Next thing you know, I'm in the studio with Spice One out in San Antonio, and we knocking out the Platinum OG project, the one I was mentioning to you earlier.
Oh, yeah.
And Spice One and I, man, we became close. The Spice One that y'all see, I get a different Spice One. He shared a lot with me. I don't know if y'all seen the interview I gave Spice One. You may want to pull that up later on, but the brother really, just like Dick Gregory, the brother is legendary. He shared a lot of stuff with me. We started bonding with the music, different type of concepts, to the point he started, he's sharing personal stuff. He talked a little bit about, I ain't gonna say a little bit, he talked a lot of bit about his relationship with Pac, and it was just a beautiful thing. So now, he's a homie, you know what I'm saying? And you see us, I'm sure you've seen some of the footage online. You see us together even when he's in Texas all the time. So
all the time, yeah.
A great brother. Let me just say this: outside of the music, he's a great brother.
Yeah.
If it's anything that I want to change about Spice One, and I'm sure he'll probably hear this, Spice One, I love the brother. He's one of those guys that's still stuck in that time. You remember that time when we used to whoop niggas for saying little bullshit? He's one of those guys that's stuck in that time. And but he's an awesome brother, man, a great father to his children, and just a great all-around human being, man. And
he a legend, man. Definitely a legend.
Legend, man.
Definitely a legend.
Yes,
because I'm in Virginia. I'm in Richmond, Virginia. So I'll be considered I'm on the East Coast. And I say a lot of people, like especially one from, they didn't really listen to a lot of West Coast music. I did. I grew up on a lot of, and I know Spice One was like a pioneer over there in the West Coast. So I kind of knew about, a lot of West Coast rappers and different things, because we was both on, New York, time. Growing up. Until the Chronic and everybody came through a little bit. So, but Spice One was definitely a legend, man. Like I said, you did a lot though, brother, man. You did a lot. Like I said, you could write a whole book on the story.
Yeah, I'm just trying to condense it down, man, because I'll be all day on one point because I've done so much. I'm
and speak on the acting though, man. I want to speak on that acting. The acting you've been doing too.
Man, I'm a part of it, man. I don't even know where to start, but I met this young lady. She's a female director, and I don't know if I'm trying to remember how we met, but it may be on social networking. And she's working on a film called The Undine Immortals, and I went out for the casting and got the part, man. And normally when I go out for castings, I get the part, but sometimes when I read the script, it ends up being on some funny type stuff, and I just did not even working with the folks. But this particular, that's another subject for another time. But this particular young lady allowed me to cast for the film, and I got the part of Aiden, the Warlock, because I'm a Warlock.
Yeah.
And this film, man, I can't wait till it comes out. But she's also more recently put out a mini film called SJ that just came out not too long ago that I'm in, and I played her confidant / friend, counselor. But acting is another good thing that I've been told that I'm good at, and I'm just looking forward to possibly getting some major roles, man. I just need to be in the right place, the right time.
Yep.
But, acting is another passion of mine. Acting, writing, writing scripts, so on and so on. But so I landed that one gig. Other gigs start opening up, and we're moving forward with whatever pulls first. That's where I'm going.
And brother, you are mental health counselor too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, sir, brother. Yes, sir.
So how does, as far as you be working with kids and different things, kids, adults?
So and I know what you're referring to. Originally, while I was in the Marine Corps, I was in reserve, so I still had a job working with juveniles.
Okay.
And I was in juvenile probations. I did 8 years as a drill instructor for the Harris County boot camp. So I was the guy to get the kids' asses, but at the same time, I was the one to put them up on game and mold and shape them. Even some of those kids to this day, they like 21, 22, 23 now. When they see me out in the streets, they come and thank me because I showed them tough love, but I showed it to them and I was balanced. I wasn't just a hard ass with them all the time. But fast forwarding, currently I work as a peer support specialist, mental health counselor with the Department of Veterans Affairs. So basically, the same way I got help, now I'm providing that same help to veterans who are struggling with PTSD, anxiety disorders, depression, and then some of you have that are dual diagnosis, substance abuse, so on and so on. So that's what I do right now. I help veterans by sharing my story to help them and encourage them to get help as well. So that's what I do.
Wow, man. Wow. And like I say, brother, you've been always giving back too from your story, from what you're doing. You know, you've been giving back. And I know, like I said, I know you had a real story, man. It's a tough story, but it's a survivor, it's a soldier, it's a strong story. You know, that's why I say I have to salute you, brother, for what you did in the world, for what you did for the country, for what you did for our people. You know, like a lot of people will say this too, though, you know, because this is why I always had to salute veterans and different things, because I got 2 cousins that went into the service, you know, and I used to just always salute them because I felt like a lot of people like, man, you know, forget that white man army, forget the white
for the white man shit.
You know, but you know, like we used to always say, man, forget that shit. I ain't doing that shit. But what the white man army has taught you though, discipline. You don't know how to use them guns. They ain't teach y'all how to use them guns out here, right?
Come on.
Survival skills, though.
Yeah. Are you wanting me to address that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, niggas be saying all kind of shit, man. And the reality of the situation, you know, I was a Marine Corps recruiter too, so I used to hear all this shit. And most of the top students that I recruited, they came out of the hood. A lot of people don't know that. You know, I heard all the talk, man. Used to do all this in the hood, the streets. The fuck you want to go fight for the white man? I'm like, man, I don't give a shit about fighting for no damn white man or black man. I say I'm going to the military for something totally different. Them same niggas that was saying that shit when I left. When I got back, if they wasn't dead, they would come and tell me, man, I should have done what you done. But you can't do it now. Now you got 4 felonies. And I think there's a big misconception that people join the military because they ain't got nothing better else to do. Man, you can't be dumb and join the military. No. You have to actually take a aptitude test. The test is challenging.
Yeah,
you know,
the ASVAB test, right?
Yes, the ASVAB, but also, do you honestly think they're gonna put you on $1 million worth of equipment and you dumb? I mean, I'm saying this for a reason because people think, you know, I don't know, you know, we go to the people go to the military for different reasons. It was never about money for me because I had, like I told you, I was in reserve. I had a good job before I went in the military, so it wasn't about no damn money. Yeah, I just wanted to have a military background to keep me level-headed. I've always thrived on I don't want to say struggle, but I always thrived on order and discipline. You know, my parents were about discipline and order. You know, I think I'm the only one out of my immediate family that went to the military. I have an uncle who's in Vietnam. I have another uncle who was in the Persian Gulf, but I'm the only active Marine that was active. I have a cousin that was a a Marine, but he didn't go all the way like I did. So, you know, to those of you that's watching this, man, cut it out, man. And some of the ones, let me say this, man. Some of the people that be saying this, motherfucker, you can't even qualify to get in the military. So stop all the cap, man. What you really saying is you wish you had the balls to do what some of us did.
Facts.
Somebody got to fight. Somebody got to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, are we just gonna sit here and let folks come over here and do what the hell they want to do? See, here in America, we are very spoiled. Everything that we doing to those people in Iraq and Afghanistan, what if the shoe was on the other foot and that was happening to us? See, we don't know how that feels.
We sure don't.
9/11 was child's play compared to what could really happen to us. And by the way, rest in power to all the people we lost in 9/11 too. We just celebrated the 9/11 deal, but yeah, it's man, I heard all that old stupid shit, man. But a lot of those guys that talk, when they see me right now, man, they salute me. It's like, man, I really wish I would did that, man. If I would have left when you left, I wouldn't have been in the situation I am now.
Yep.
And let me tell you this too. Regardless of what branch you were in, America now, I can't say during the Vietnam time, now America actually give a damn about their veterans. At least they act like it. So guess what? We're gonna use it to our advantage. Since you say you love your veterans, well, show it. You got veterans from the Vietnam era that still hadn't been taken care of. So that's why I come in as a peer support to kind of bring those guys back in, share my story so they can get some help. So, you know, and that's not a knock to people, man. Some people go to college, college is good too.
Everybody have their own journey. I feel like everybody have their own journey. And who is people to judge what somebody else is doing anyway?
That's right.
You know, that's how I always sit back and live by anyway too.
Yeah, everybody got their own journey, man. I learned to strive to I want to put this. I want to respect what everybody does, man.
Yes.
You know, you may not agree with it, but at the end of the day, do the right thing or do what's best for you. You know, I'm not in everybody's household, so I can't speak. You know, some people needed to go the college route. Some people wanted to go the military route. Some people just wanted to go the street route. It's all about choice. Some people
just wanted to work too.
Some people just wanted to work. But at the end of the day, on the revolutionary side, our people need to be seen everywhere, in everything, doing everything. We need to be seen in every faction, every job, every organization, making an impact so that our people can grow collectively.
You're right. Like you said, we were speaking the other day and we were talking about Geronimo Pratt. If it wasn't for Geronimo Pratt, far as with the Black Panthers, far as with the discipline and with guns and different, see, people don't know that. Explain that to people because people don't really know that too much.
They don't know. They don't know.
A lot of our revolutionary freedom fighters fought for this country.
That's right.
And a lot of people don't know. So explain that too, brother.
Yeah, that's another thing. You get these part-time revolutionaries. They got so much to say about the military, and some of the same people that you look up to, you don't even know their backgrounds. We'll use Geronimo Pratt. Geronimo Pratt, a decorated Vietnam veteran, I think it was 2 Purple Hearts. It's already rough enough to get 1 Purple Heart. If you got 2, I can only imagine the hell that he went through, only to come out and turn around and help his people. We don't, you know, we got to stop pointing fingers. And he's not the only one. It's a lot of people. So, you know, it's people in the music industry that have former military experience. Ice-T, a lot of people didn't know that. Shaggy was y'all remember the singer Shaggy? He's a former Marine. Nate Dogg, he was a former Marine. It's a lot of people, man. So again, to speak to your point, we just need to be found everywhere, making some kind of impact to raise our people out of the level that we are in right now, man.
Facts.
We are too powerful to be so ignorant in this day and time.
I agree.
And we have so much at our hands until, you know, we just keep allowing the enemy of truth to divide us.
Yep.
You know, and it's just pathetic, bro. It really is.
Man, brother Nawfside, I just want to tell you, man, I enjoyed you, and I feel like I learned a lot more about you that I already knew, but I feel like I learned a little bit more about you, my brother. You know, I just want to tell you too, thank you for what you have done and for what you are doing, but especially for what you have done, man, for, you know, for this country, for us as people too. Because a lot of our people, one thing I'm gonna say this too before we go to, a lot of our people don't think the veterans. We really don't. I really kind of like hate to say it like that, because I noticed the other cultures, they'll salute the veterans and boom boom.
Yep,
A lot of our people wouldn't really, we don't, you know, thank them. So I just want to give you your flowers, man, for what everything you have done in protecting us. You know what I mean? So I just want to thank you, my brother.
I want to thank you, brother. And again, you're thanking me, but I got to give it right back to God and the ancestors, man. I'm just a vessel that was blessed to be utilized for my purpose. So I'm just very thankful, man, for you allowing me to even have a little time to speak today.
Yes.
I'm a people's person, man. I want to see our people grow, but I want us to do it collectively and stop all this spiritual gang banging and foolishness, allowing our differences to cause us to stay divided, because that is how the enemy of truth, the enemies of truth with an S, plural, keeps us under their foot, because they know that once we unite, game over.
That's it.
Game over. That's why I love brother Haki Kwali Shakur. No matter what, every day he reminding you of what your obligation is to the people.
That's facts. Shout out to that brother right there, Haki Kwali Shakur. You right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I just want to thank you, my brother, man. I really do. You know what I'm saying? It was a long time coming. I'm glad I had finally got the interview with you, because I said this brother was powerful, man. Like, I ran up on you through my brother Haki Kwali Shakur, you know, and I was looking at you. Then I started looking at your freestyles, and I'm like, oh, this brother guy. I had, matter of fact, I had called Haki one time. I like, yo, man, brother Nawfside, they killed that joint. That premiere joint, that joint I showed y'all early, ladies and gentlemen, and let people know, man, where they can get you at, with all your links set and different things. Tell the people right now where they can find you at.
Yes, sir. I'm more active these days on. I do have a YouTube channel. Just type in Vince Bryant, VINCE Bryant, BRYANT. Side note, my government name, and I'm sure the enemy knows this. My government name is Leonardo Vince Bryant. I was named after Leonardo da Vinci, so I think I'm the only black Leonardo in the world. But for the most part, you can find me on YouTube, Vince Bryant, or either just type in Nawfside, Nawf. We from the South, so we say Nawf. But I'm more these days on Instagram, so I'm Nawfside. I am NAWFSIDE. I'm Nawfside.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, I'm on Facebook as well. You just type in Vince Bryant.
Yes, sir. Like I said, I'd like to thank you again, man. Next time, my brother, I hope I get to see you in person. I manifested that I come out there in Houston, like you said, because
you're welcome,
out there.
You're welcome in my home, man. You're welcome, and
yes, sir.
We'll definitely give you this Southern hospitality, and you know, my home is open to you, brothers, man.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you so much, my brother. And I just want you to continue doing what you're doing out here for us.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Let's never forget our ancestors and those who've gone before us. Y'all see me wearing this shirt. It says Montford Point Marines. These were the first Black Marines. You never hear the story about them. We always hear about the Tuskegee Airmen as though that's the only thing Black folks know. Go look up the story of the first Black Marines, the Montford Point Marines, what they had to deal with in during that time, and just continue to be a light. And this is to everybody that's watching this. Continue to be a light. Contribute to make this world better, man. Do your part. Don't worry about what everybody else. Do your part to make the world better. And it can be better, man. Right. But we always got to work together.
Yes, sir. Thank you, my brother.
Thank you as well, brother, again. And continue all the good work you're doing.
Yes, sir. You too. Thank you, my brother.
Salute.